Hi guys, it's Kaz. It is 1:45 on a Sunday. I already have a glass of wine, but let's talk about the books I'm hoping to read in September. So, September. I am participating in a read-along and, of course, my monthly book club. So, there are some books that I absolutely must get to, and then a few that are bonuses, or that I should probably finish sometime soon. So, let's get straight into it. I started reading Sandman, volume 1 of these massive omnibus editions, and I didn't get very far into it, but I'm super intrigued. I'm really enjoying it so far, and of course would love to continue. So this is a graphic novel series that's kind of like a blend of like fantasy, horror, mystery, historical, all of that good stuff. And then we have a man who tries to summon and capture death, I believe, but instead captures the Sandman, and he's held for decades, and this affects a lot of people and the way that they sleep or dream, and then eventually the Sandman escapes, and it's kind of him trying to restore the balance, everything that's changed whilst he's been gone. But his kind of first order of business is to find these 3 items that are incredibly important to him and what he does, and that's kind of where I'm at so far. I'm sure there's probably a lot more to it than that, and I've probably got some details wrong, but it's great. I would like to continue reading that if possible. It's huge, it's daunting, but we can work with it. I would also love to read Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. This one actually comes out mid-September, I believe, so a huge thank you to Bloomsbury for not only sending me a proof copy, but this beautiful finished copy. Like, the foiling is stunning. Let's take a look at the naked book, because across it we have Piranesi. I have talked about this many times on my channel, but I'm gonna say it again. I could be very wrong here, but just reading the synopsis reminds me a little bit of like The Starless Sea meets House of Leaves. Piranesi lives in this house. The inside is much, much larger than the outside. There are endless corridors and hallways, and there's even an ocean within the house. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, Piranesi sees his friend called the Other. But besides this, he is mostly alone, until I think he starts to find clues that there might be something else lurking within this house. Sounds intriguing, very fascinated. I have read and thoroughly enjoyed Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke, so I'm so excited to see what this is about. Though, to be fair, that book was like hundreds and hundreds of pages long. This is vastly different, but I did really like her writing style, so very keen to read this. The book club that I co-host is called The Name of the Book Club, and it is a speculative fiction book club. We read fantasy and sci-fi, and in September we have decided to read This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal Et Motar and Max Gladstone. We have Red and Blue, who are 2 rival agents from different, like, alternate realities, I think. So Red and Blue are basically working to ensure a better future for the universe that they live in, but I don't think the 2 of them can succeed in that. It's like one of these 2 worlds will end up in a better place than the other. But the 2 of them start to correspond, I think, with letters and forming a bond, which, if anyone discovers this, will mean their deaths. It sounds very interesting. I've heard really great things about this, so looking forward to getting into it. The live show for this will be on my channel at the end of September. It should be the last weekend of September. More details on the Name of the Book Club's Twitter account. And then we have these. I recently posted a video where I talk about the Stormlight Archive read-along that I am co-hosting. So essentially we're going to be reading the first 4 books in the Stormlight Archive series by Brandon Sanderson, starting in September with The Way of Kings. For me, with the UK editions, this means part 1 and part 2, but I'm very much excited about it. We will be discussing The Way of Kings over on Catherine Reed's channel, hopefully at the end of September, but if you want to know more details and follow along and get like confirmed dates and stuff, I'll have a link in the description to my announcement video, as well as the Twitter and Discord server for this read-along. And now that I think of it, I don't know if I've ever read the synopsis for The Way of Kings. I've just always been interested in Brandon Sanderson's works because of like the word of mouth has always been so incredibly positive. Okay, I still have no idea, but it sounds like this is set in a world that is pretty terrifying and dangerous to live in. So essentially it says animals hide in shells, trees pull in their branches, and cities are only built where the land manages to offer shelter. And against this landscape there is a war. I don't know the details. It literally just says, one such war is about to swallow up a soldier, a bright lord, and a young woman scholar. I have absolutely loved every single Brandon Sanderson book that I have read so far, so I have no doubt that I will also enjoy this one. We shall just see where it fits within the scale of my enjoyment for Brandon Sanderson books. I'm really excited about it. The last book I'm going to talk about is Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. This is a wonderfully fantastical and magical middle grade series that I'm sure you guys have heard about and heard wonderful things about. I did start reading this at one point but had to put it down because another priority popped up and I just haven't found the time to pick it back up again. But with Hollowpox looming around the corner in Australia, it's coming out at the end of September, girl, I need to read it. So in this book we follow Morrigan Crow, who is a cursed child, and she's expected to die, I think, on her 11th or 12th birthday. But because she was born on an unlucky day, she is blamed for all of her town's misfortune. Whilst she is awaiting her fate, awaiting to die, she is whisked away by a man named Jupiter North off to the magical world of Nevermore. But in order to stay there, she must pass these trials. And like I said, heard so many great things about this one. Thrilled to be reading this one. I'm really excited for a magical middle grade. So those are essentially all of the books that I'm hoping to read in the month of September. But if any of you guys have read any of the books that I mentioned today, I'd love to hear your thoughts on them. Let me know that down below, and also what book you are most excited to read in the month of September. And before I go, I wanted to give another shout out to a booktuber that I think you guys should go and check out, and that is Audrey of Perpetual Pages. I've been following Audrey for the longest time, and they are one of my go-to people when I'm looking for some book recommendations, and specifically queer recommendations. They do so many great recommendations videos and talking about individual books like 5 Reasons to Read X, and one of the recent videos that I really love is the Cemetery Boys original tag video. The Cemetery Boys is a book that I'm pretty sure I heard about via Audrey, and I'm so excited to read this book. So go and check out Audrey, they are amazing. But that is all that I have for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you soon in a new one, but until then, I'll talk to you in the comments. Bye!